It's laughology for our southern friends. Have we got any northerners in the room? Hurrah, yes, whereabouts are you from? You work in Staffordshire and from Stockport. So I'm from Liverpool originally, but I live down here now. So I will say laugh and laugh throughout the day, depending on how I feel. So I'm absolutely passionate about humour, happiness, laughter in organisations as well as in human beings and the way that that can open up the mind. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that as we go through the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes or so. And at the end then you can ask as many questions as you like. Just to get us warmed up this morning, because it's good to get us warmed up, I'm just going to ask you to put your hands in the air for me like this and give yourselves a nice big stretch in the air. Stretch your hands up, nice up and wide, and start wiggling those fingers for me. Keep those fingers wiggling. Just put them to the side of you and lower them into the lap of the person next to you. Ah, there we go. I see you kept your hands up there, sir. You weren't going any lower. What I'm actually doing there is testing to see if you have a sense of humour. Thank goodness you do, because that goes really wrong when you don't. And humour is a lot more than joking and clowning around. It's about our perception of the world. It's how we deal with information, how that goes in, how we process it, and how we react, respond, and behave to other people. Now, to give you a little bit of background, my background, I started out 20-odd years ago doing stand-up. Became really interested in how humour made us think and feel very differently about situations. How many of you go and watch stand-up? Or have seen it? Yeah, brilliant. Who's your favourite comedian? Oh, not all at once. Dara O'Brien, who else? Peter Kay, yeah, good old northerner. Who else?
Michael McIntyre.
Michael McIntyre, one of my favourites. Do they talk about jokes as such? What do they talk about? Life. It's absolutely, it's life. And it normalises the daft things that we do. And because it normalises it, it makes us think differently about it. And I became really fascinated with how humour sat in the brain and the way it would make us look at information differently. I went back to university, did a psychology MA, mix the two together, you get laughology. I was just delighted because I had an ology, and that's all my nana ever wanted me to get, is an ology. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some more and different sciences today, particularly around something that's quite new, around something called growth mindset and the links between happiness, growth mindset and humour as well. So we are a consultant and development company. We do lots of work in lots of different organisations. So we've got you warmed up a little bit. I'm just going to warm you up a little bit more. So I'm going to split you into sections. So this section over here, you're all going to be section A. Is that okay, section A? Brilliant. This section over here, you're all going to be section B. Is that okay, section B? Brilliant. And what's going to happen is section A, you're going to clap and cheer, go wild and crazy, or as wild and crazy as you possibly can this time on a Friday morning, but you're getting yourself ready, you've put your pens down and everything. Then section B, you're going to try and beat them, okay? I don't know why I said beat them like that, I don't actually mean beat them, but you did get quite excited for a minute. You were like, great, Friday, it's Friday. Look at you going, yeah. Okay, so we need section A, you're going to clap and cheer, go wild and crazy. Section B, you're going to try and beat them. Then we need a section B who's going to try and beat the lot. So you there, my friend, you're going to be section B. But when I saw you, I thought you're a section B kind of guy. Or sectioned, not quite sure. Okay, section A, are you ready? I'm not quite sure you are. Section A, are you ready? Okay, after 3, 1, 2, 3, up we go! Brilliant. Okay, section B, after 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what I like, a bit of whistling this time in the morning. So this is your moment, sir, okay? So what's your name, sir?
Keith.
Keith, what's going to happen, Keith, is I'm going to pass you the clap, okay? And you're going to... Some of my jokes are just for one. That's okay. I like the way Keith went, yay! That's great, again. So Keith, what's going to happen is you're going to get the clap, okay? You're going to spread it around the room, all the way over here. It's going to end over here on you, sir. You might want to jump up and do a few cartwheels or something like that, but no pressure. Okay, what's your name, sir? Bim? Raymond. Okay, so you're going to start, Keith. Raymond, you're going to finish. Everyone else is going to join in the middle. We're going to raise the roof. Are you ready, Keith? I thought you were. You were born ready. Yeah. Okay, Keith, are you ready? After 3, start the applause. 1, 2, 3, go! Everyone else, everyone else! Over to Raymond! Brilliant. Okay, so what we're doing there is we're warming the muscles in the brain, we're producing endorphins, we're getting serotonin going, and waking you up ready to learn, ready to grow our brain. And what's really fascinating about the brain that you probably all know lots about is about how the brain can grow. Even later on into our latter years, we know now that the brain can develop and grow neurotransmitters and neurons right into our late 80s, which means we can continually learn, continually do things differently, and the brain can continually change. And I'm absolutely passionate that we help people do that. But before we do that, we're going to have a bit of a quiz. Are you up for a quiz? Are you up for a quiz? Fab. Okay, so what we've got up here, we've got 6 people, all of whom I know, and they all do certain job roles. And I'm going to tell you what their job roles are, but I'm not going to tell you who does what. And we've got some prizes if you get it closest. So can we have a woo for prizes? Give me a woo. I'm not quite sure if that was a woo or just a really camp ghost had just walked in the room. So we've got the Laughology book. So if you get all 6, you can get the Laughology book or the closest one. So pens at the ready to write these down. I'll write them up on the board as well, so we can capture them. Oh, your positive goal. There we go. So first up, we have a journalist. So first up, and these are in no particular order. So but first up, we have a journalist. Then we have a head teacher. Then we have a columnist for Closer magazine. Then we have a chief exec of a social media company. And then we have a head of a law society. And we also have a comedian. Okay, so I am literally going to give you, let's say 2 minutes on the clock. Have a chat to the person next to you or behind you. If you don't like any of them, put your hand up, I'll find you someone you do like. Good, you take no drink, that's all. Okay, so who does what? Very quickly, off you go. Okay, that's 1 minute gone. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left. Okay, 30 seconds. How are you getting on, ladies? Absolutely, that's dead right. Okay. So, like I said, I do know all these people. So what we'll do is I'll take what you think and then I'll go through who does what at the end. So let's go with our journalist first. Who do we think is our journalist? Shout out nice and loud for me. Who do we think? Bottom right. So this chap here. Yep. Okay. Hands up. It's like a Price is Right all of a sudden, isn't it? Hands up if you think this chap here, this is Nick Harding. That's quite a few of you, over this side mainly. So why do you think this chap here, lady with the red top on there?
I don't know. He just looks like a journalist.
He looks like a journalist. So what do journalists look like? This, like him, like him, like him. What makes you think he looks like a journalist?
I think he wears a jacket and jeans.
You think he wears a jacket and jeans? Is that what journalists wear? It's that smart cash thing going on. Yeah, and lady behind nodding as well. What do you think?
I think he's sat there looking like he's going to meet someone and...
He's just going to meet someone. He's not really working, is what you're saying. Journalists don't really work. He's just having coffee, meeting someone. Who else do we think is a journalist? We had a few other shout-outs. This lady. This chap, this is Andrew Gaborchi. And you said yes there as well, sir. Why do you think?
It was the last choice I was left.
The last one. By process of elimination. So you're saying journalists are alcoholics as well. I'm starting to build a picture of these people. So you're saying that that's not alcohol. It's more, yeah, you're right. So you're looking at the facts is what you're doing. So this is process of elimination for you, but why did you think this chap?
I don't know. He looks as if he's probably writing something and thinking about something that he's observed.
Okay, so that's what a whole nice narrative around that. Anybody else? Let's just take one more. This is Lou. Why do we think Lou? She looks like she's really good at listening. How do you get that?
I just think she's got a really open face. She's inviting you to engage with her.
It's that leaning forward thing, isn't it? Very open. Okay, brilliant. Let's go for our head teacher. Shout out nice and loud so I can hear you. Oh, that's quite a few of you. Top right. Who said top right? Okay, a few of you again. This lady in the front. Why do we think top right?
Because I love the idea that she's young and she's got that job.
She's young and she's got that job. Okay, how old do you think that Karen is?
Same age as my daughter, 26.
Oh, she'll be delighted with that. She's 37. No, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. But I like the way halfway through someone was heckling you, going, no, top left, top left. Who was that? Who was saying the opposite?
All of it.
Who was saying this lady? Who said this as a head teacher? So why did you say Lou as a head teacher, sir?
Because she looks like the head teacher I had in my first school.
Is she scaring you?
So that must be what head teachers look like.
Oh, so it's memory, recollection that you're using. Okay, let's move on quickly. Who's our columnist for Closer magazine? Bottom left. This chap here. Oh, that's quite a few of you. Who said that? Who said that? So let's go to the gentleman at the back there. Why did you say that, sir? Is that, oh, sorry. I thought, oh, the lady, sorry, here. I thought it was his hand in front of you. I thought that's a great trick.
I reckon he's kind of cheeky, chatty students of trying to this take on women in society.
Okay, so he looks a little bit cheeky, is what you're saying. I take all this information back, by the way. It's a little bit like cheap consultancy for them. So he looks a bit cheeky. Who else do we think is our columnist for Closer magazine? Top left, this one here. So ladies over there, why do you think top left?
A professional looking picture, could possibly appear in a magazine.
Okay, yes, so it's quite a professional picture. You said this one here, did you? Why did you say this one? Yeah, sorry. Okay, so, yep, young. Okay, let's move on. Who's our chief exec of the social media company? Chief exec. Top middle. Bottom middle. There's quite a few of you saying that. Hands up if you said bottom middle. Okay, quite a few. This lady here, why do we say bottom middle?
Because she just looks like somebody that has a high-profile job.
Okay.
She's very glamorous. She's obviously at an event.
It's an awards ceremony, so you're looking at the facts in the picture there as well. Who's our head of law? Head of law? Top middle, hands up for top middle. Well, it's quite a few of you, top middle. Who said top middle over here? Lady here, why did you say top middle? Yes. He looks very self-assured, comfortable, intelligent. Did you know that we perceive people who wear glasses to be more intelligent? I see you're reaching for your glasses, sir. Now, I did say it's only perception. And there's been lots of research around this for people who go for jobs who wear glasses are more likely to get that role than people who don't. I'm not saying that's why you're there. I'm just saying that that's what the research tells us. Because we do start to make up stories about people, and we start to put people into certain boxes, certain categories. And I'll tell you how this connects to growth mindset in a minute. So comedian, finally, let's just wrap this bit up. Oh, okay, bottom middle, a few of you going there. The lovely lady I was talking to earlier. Why did you say?
Because she looks happy, smiley, fun, and
She looks happy and smiley. Who else did we say was the comedian? This one. This lady here, Karen. Why did you say Karen, sir?
I think deep down underneath she's a bit miserable.
Oh, do you? You've got a bit of psychoanalysis going on there. You can see behind that smile, the smile of a clown. Okay, brilliant. Let's go through them quickly. So top here we've got Lou Conran. This is the lovely Lou, and she is from Manchester and a comedian. So well done if you got that right. This is Andrew Gaborchi, lovely Andrew, who is our head of the Law Society. This is Karen, who would be delighted at being 25, and he's our chief exec of a social media company. This is Andrew Hartley, the very cheesy and sneaky and funny chappie who writes for Closer magazine. You're absolutely right. And he does the men's views on women's stuff. This is Rima, who lives down by me, and she is our head teacher. And this is Nick Harding, the alcoholic who doesn't really work properly, is the journalist and also my partner. And I just take this round so when we have arguments, I go, see, it's not just me that thinks it. Okay, so what does this tell us? Why do you think I did that exercise? Why do you think I did that? Perceptions. There's something called social categorization, which you've probably heard about, which is perceptions, basically. And we start to put people into social categories of their abilities, of things that they can do. And it's not just other people we do it with. Interestingly, we do it with ourselves. We probably have about 5 seconds when we first meet someone that the brain is making up a story about them. We're judging them from our memories, from the facts, the things that we see, the things that they're wearing, things that they're saying, and very, very quickly our brain is making up a story. And you all started to do that there. So someone said a story about, you could see behind her eyes that she was a sad person. And we do. Are you ever on a bus and you start watching someone and in your head you're making up a whole scenario about where that person's going and what they're doing? Now, that's the way the brain works. And we know there's a lot around this, around bias thinking at the moment. But what's really interesting, especially from the coaching perspective, is that we do this automatically. And it's about how we undo that for other people, but also ourselves. Because this causes what we call a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset is very much about, this is who I am, this is the category or social situation I was born into, and this is where I sit. And we all have a fixed mindset to a certain point. For example, myself, I wasn't very good at maths at school. How many of you in this room weren't very good at something at school or were in the bottom set for maths, for example? And how many of you still think now that you're not good at maths? Now, I was at a conference a few weeks ago and I asked the same question, and this lady put her hand up, and the table that she was on, all laughed around her, and I said, why don't you think you're very good at maths? She said, I'm just rubbish at it. And everyone was laughing, and I said, why are they all laughing? And she said, because I'm head of finance. And what's really interesting is that she had the proof there, and I said, you're head of finance, how are you not good at maths? And she went, because that's not real maths. That's just spreadsheets. I like the way a few of you are nodding there. What did you say?
It's not maths, it's dark magic.
It is dark magic, yeah, absolutely. And so even when we have the proof, our belief systems get in the way of what we know neuroscience tells us now, that the brain can learn and develop, but the big things that stops us is our belief systems around that. And there's a new understanding around this that's been around for the past 10 years or so from a lovely lady called Carol Dweck, Dr. Carol Dweck, who started to talk about growth mindset and fixed mindset. And that growth mindset is when we start to really understand that the brain can develop, the brain can grow, and we're not just fixed into these categories. There's a piece of research done which you should really look up called the Pygmalion effect. And have you read the Pygmalion effect? So it talked about a school, and psychologists went into this particular school and said, we're going to understand where the children are, and we're going to understand what grades they're going to get. And so they did this piece of research, and they got the children's names, top 10 children's names, and they gave it to the teacher, and they said to the teacher, we don't want you to do anything with this. We're just going to come back at the end of the year and see what happens. So the teachers put the names in the bottom drawer, had a quick look. Some of the names were a little bit of a curveball, but put them in the bottom drawer all the same. Come back at the end of the year, and the majority, so it was something like 85% of those names were in the top 10. And they gave it to the psychologists at the end and said, yeah, you know, you were right. What test is this? And they said, it's not. We didn't do one. It's a pseudo test. But what we did is we showed you that by changing your belief system as a teacher, as a coach, as a trainer, it absolutely changes the way you slightly talk to, the way you perceive someone. And that is as important as the way that they perceive themselves. And the brain actually can grow in ways of the way that people perceive us. And so growth mindset isn't just about how we perceive people, it's how we actually grow brains in ourselves and other people. So all I want you to do now is just think for me just a little bit and have a chat to the person next to you. On what level, say 1 to 10, with 1 being fixed and 10 being growth, where do you think you are personally?